Okay, I hope that was good for you guys. Yeah, and it might have been a little emotional, and that's okay. Um, it really is okay. But the next part was like, is like a whoa. And I need you to really kind of breathe into this and feel into this. Is now imagine them doing a venting sheet, worksheet on you, and so that you're now going to answer all of the things that hurt, anger, or break your heart that they would say about you. So I really want you to really feel into this. So basically you're writing this worksheet now from their standpoint of what you think that they think about you, and go deep with this. Think about some of the things that could really hurt you, really, if they really did think these things of you. Like from, I did it with my husband. Even though, I have a great relationship with my husband, but I wanted it to be stronger. So it made me realize a lot of things about what I thought he thought about me and what I thought about him, and where the shadows were controlling and running that relationship. So it diluted it very much. So it doesn't have to be someone that you know, are angry with. It could be someone that you're very much in love with, but there's things about him that that are charging you, and just so you can get to those. So once you finish these worksheets, go ahead and circle the charges that are there for you. Yeah, sorry, I'm sending this in two parts because I don't know if the video is going to be long enough to send whole. So that's why I paused it too. But circle after you finish the shadow parts of the answer, the judgment parts. So let's say it's just like, I wish you would just, stop laying around on the couch so much. Let's say you finished it like that. So you need to push that a little bit. So you can't really, judging like laying around on the couch so much, is not a full judgment. So you need to push it further. What kind of person lays around on the couch all the time? A lazy, worthless person, or a lazy person, or a fat lazy person maybe comes up for you. This is what your judgment is of what kind of person does that. Yeah, I have a lazy, worthless shadow, and it stems from my dad never letting me take a nap. So when my husband takes a nap, I think he's worthless. Like, I don't really think that, but subconsciously I think that comes out, so I kind of bite at him a little bit. Well, I don't anymore, but I did. And then once you embrace that, it doesn't mean that I really do think he's a worthless, piece of shit, is what comes up in my subconsciousness. It doesn't mean that I really, truly think that. It kind of dilutes it and softens it. So I'm like, oh, that's my stuff, from my past. And that was a belief system that my father put into me, that people that nap are worthless piece of shits because they should be working, because he was a workaholic. So if you're doing anything less than that, then you're lazy or you're worthless, So once I got that, I was like, oh, maybe I should learn to nap some more. It's probably really healthy. It's probably why he's in a good mood all the time, because he gives himself and he takes care of himself and lets himself rest. So when I got that, kind of shifted everything. So really push those and, go deeper. So yeah, and then go into what you might think that they think of you. Remember, we don't know. What we think others are judging about ourselves is truly what we're judging about ourselves, or we're fearful of showing up in that light. So go ahead and go through that one and be pretty raw. Push the envelope a little bit. And then I want you to go into a core family relationship. So this means someone that was hugely significant in your upbringing, whether that was a teacher, whether it was a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle. Oh, it's just got to be one that's pretty charged. Mine, and not that it has to be a bad relationship, but it has to be one that you wished could have been better, or you still, in this moment, wish it was a stronger and better relationship? So think about who that person is. Mine, I chose my mother, and it's not that we have a bad relationship. We're not really that close, but we are close. It's like this I don't know, but there's things about her that drive me friggin' crazy. And once I did the worksheet, my mom has a lot of health issues, and I found that her health issues aggravate me when she complains about them or when she talks about them, because I don't see her doing anything about it. And when I broke it down and I asked the questions, you are such a martyr. I hate it when you start another diet and then never finish it. I hate it when you sneak cigarettes when I know you're smoking and you have COPD and all this other crap. I wish you would just take better care of yourself. So what kind of a person doesn't take better care of themselves? A person that doesn't love themselves. She feels unworthy. Guess whose shadow that is? I have an unworthy shadow, which is where a lot of my judgment onto her is a lot of my own judgment onto myself. Take better care of yourself. Stop smoking. Stop bitching about it and do something about it. Stop being a hypocrite. Like, those all came up for me just when I was doing my mom's stuff. And I love my mother very much, and we have a good relationship. But oh my God. I also did my sister, who's also, like I said, a charge for me. And although I love her, I found out a lot more about me when I did this exercise. So I really invite you to really dive in and really take the time to really get authentically raw and dirty. A lot of times with our parents, it's really hard for us. Children have a hard time really getting down on their parents. It's like this innate protective mechanism to protect them. You've heard me talk about my father, and yeah, I have this huge protection mechanism over him, and I hate sharing the stories, but I know that it's helping people grow. But I would never want anybody to see anything wrong in him. So it's really hard for us to really be honest about who our parents are, because, they gave us life. So this isn't about testing your spirituality. It's just about getting to the real part of you. It's not about bashing them. It's not about giving blame. It's not about, well, I knew it was my mom's fault. It's not about any of that, It's about really taking ownership for your own stuff so that you can gain and be stronger in these relationships, and you can start to see where your stuff lies, and then you can go in and start to do the work and do the shadow core meditations and writings and all that kind of stuff with those shadows. So you'll be amazed at what the transformation will be. Okay, so once you've done that, the next section, and then you're going to flip it around to where you're doing it from their standpoint to you. You can do this for everybody in your life, which is a lot, but you can if you want to. If you have a few charged relationships that really ignite you, I invite you to take your time. I mean, take the whole entire week. Do one a day if you have to, but do it, because you'll find your own inner strength and your own compassion for them and for yourself, But then once you do, make sure you circle these, and at the top of the page, I want you to write down the strong shadows that really ignite you. They don't have to be all of them, but the ones that really, get to you. And then the other one, the very end one, is one of my favorites. It's our cultural beliefs, feelings, and expectations about the roles of men and women in relationships are often inaccurate. Write them out. Fill into those emotional charges, beliefs, feelings, expectations around relationships, boys, girls, men, and women. So I feel like we have all this underlining belief systems that don't even belong to us. And although we say, oh, I don't believe that, my mom believed that, that's how my parents were raised, I get that that's a different generation. There's something, it shows up once in a while. I have My dog is staring at me. I have, yeah, I've had that happen to me a few times, and as much as I have said in the past that I'm completely equality, and I don't see race, I think I could look back on my life, and unfortunately, I think it's come up, and shame on me, yeah. But I now realize that it's a belief system that didn't belong to me, and you know, I have always prided myself on not being racist ever, and I think I had been, and I had to come to that humbling, shameful place, like, oh crap, did I really say that one time? Or, you know, did I think differently of somebody because their cultural background? Like, oh my gosh. And then it made me realize that as much as I praised on not being racist, that maybe maybe it was just embedded in me. And once I got that, it diluted it. It wasn't this overpowering, like I have no racism. It was just a fact now. I didn't have to preach it from the, mountaintops like I had in the past. So it's just a known fact now. And knowing where they came from. I mean, maybe some of you have religious beliefs that were placed on you. You know, you never get divorced. I know someone very close to me that was raised on that belief, and I don't know why she took that, because, it's my sister, and I didn't take that, but somewhere along the line, she watched my parents stay together for 48 years through really, really hard times, and the message was delivered to her that you never get divorced, no matter how miserable you are. I don't believe that, but that's her perception of what she gained. So there's this place in her that says, yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's you don't have sex out of wedlock, and what are the belief system? Is that your belief system? Or does that belong to somebody else? And what does that really mean? So go through those questions, because those are pretty powerful. And, we're all raised differently. And like I said before, I was raised in a blue collar, small, well, it's not really a small town, but I was raised in the Quad Cities, and it's very blue collar there. But so I was taught about rich people. And I don't think rich people are snobs. I don't think they're assholes. That's what I was told. So whenever I'm around a wealthy person, I have this nervousness about them. Like I get uncomfortable. And I never knew why. Like I didn't get it until I did this worksheet, and I was like, oh, well, because my dad always said that they were snobs. So it made me uncomfortable, because I was like, oh my God, I'm hanging out with a snob. Subconsciously, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking that consciously, God forbid. Like, I have a lot of friends that are wealthy, and God bless them. I'm glad they're my friends. But there are times where I find myself super nervous, or really smart people. Is there something being said about people that are smart, or artists? Maybe you look down upon artists or musicians or rock band people, or whatever it is. But there's been cultural beliefs that have been put into us and instilled in us as a blueprint that really don't even belong to us. And consciously, we don't think that we believe them, but subconsciously they arise somehow, somewhere. And just find out what those are, because you'll really, truly get out of your own way when it comes to cultural beliefs. And you'll get really super humbled in what is and what is not. So, all right, well, that is it for the class. It's all just you guys doing the work, So, I appreciate you all, and for those of you that, we're going to recap this on Sunday, but we're still going to meet Sunday at 3 o'clock, and yeah, let's just kind of recap through this stuff and answer any questions, and you guys can call me. you know, I feel bad that we didn't get a chance to meet together. And then when you get a chance, if you don't have the core shadow works, after you do this, go through the meditation again. Go through the one-on-one. I did a one-on-one. So you might want to go through and do the one-on-one, or maybe you go back through the family reunion and you meet all the shadows that you circle, and just take your time and work through it, and pause that guided meditation and maybe just take your time with each one, or take this time to write to each one of these shadows, or have the shadow write back to you, just like we're doing in this exercise. But if you get stuck, please email me, text me, or call me. That's what I'm here for. So if I don't hear from you guys, have an incredible week. Do the work. You'll thank me for it later. It's kind of hard. It's difficult at times. We don't want to be mean, and we don't want to be. We don't want to bring up some old wounds. But you know, this is going into the dark, so that you can shed the light back in there. Okay. All right. Have a great week, guys. Stay warm, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.